Hey, what's up? It's Rashad, Antonio. We are the Upon Further Review, but this is the MCU Collective because we are talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode number 4, same as episode 6, Semper
Ye-
Systema.
Yeah,
All
something like that.
spoilers. And that essentially means like because you know that the VA joint is like Six Semper Tyrannis, well, like basically like
Yeah.
watch out for tyranny. So this is like
hmm
essentially translates to like not trusting the system or the system being the enemy, so to speak. So
System of a Down.
wake up. All
Wake
right.
up!
Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
Had
Oh,
to do it.
the system of a down is great, man. Anyway,
Yeah.
all right. Okay, so we wasn't here yesterday because Tony had some breaking news at work. So
Mhm.
of course Tony is the director of things, and he had to stay at work because you know what I'm saying. Y'all ain't joined it because y'all haven't joined the website yet. So again, we got go to
Yeah.
theuponfurtherreview.com. We got our website now. We will be adding more things there as time
hmm
goes on. This is for our exclusive spot for all the things that we cannot do on YouTube because YouTube sucks when it comes to copyright and
hmm
DMCA. And just, we can have more free flowing conversation and just, just be more adults. All right, but yeah, definitely theuponfurtherreview.com. And if you have
hmm
joined, which I haven't seen anybody because I got an alert, let us know, man. You know what I'm saying? All right, yo.
Yeah.
This episode right here, Tony. Couple things just off the top, this initial impressions.
hmm
I This really is just good television.
hmm
That's like the first thing.
hmm
And the second thing is, and I need you guys to realize this. We got 2 episodes in a row with zero action, and they have been the better 2 episodes.
hmm
I don't know what else to tell you. Like to me, like I've really been liking even just like the court procedural stuff with just Matt being a lawyer or
hmm
Matt actually having to use his senses and not rely on beating people up, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
late at night because, he's Daredevil. So that aspect of the show so far has been surprisingly like I thought it was gonna be the weaker part. Especially because
hmm
when they first said it, like, look, yo, this is gonna be like a court procedural, this is gonna be doing court stuff, yada 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 yada, and all that good. And then you can see how they like you can like I can see where they had to add stuff on and kind of like intercut some stuff just to make it flow with the newer vision after they went back to the drawing board and was like, nah, this ain't really working. I
hmm
really wonder if it really I wonder what aspects of that old show really didn't work because you can tell some of the old stuff that's still in the show, you clearly tell what it is. And that's working for me.
hmm
So I'm just very curious as to how quote unquote bad the show was.
Okay. So a lot of the old stuff that's in the show that is being covered up pretty cool is the stuff with Kingpin and Vanessa. Because the actress that plays Vanessa, who we see on TV right now, she originally was not going to come back for this,
Yeah.
and they had recasted her. And you can tell that a lot of the stuff, some of the reshoots were done, but also you can tell stuff where they kept it in there just not to reshoot it, especially during the therapy sessions, because the therapy sessions the therapy session starts off first where you see Kingpin talking. Just a
Yep.
single shot of him. And then it's a single shot of Vanessa. And then you see a behind the shot where you don't see nobody's face and everything like that. And I think a lot of that was because some of that stuff was added in, but some of it I think also was with the young lady that was supposed to, I guess, be recast
Yeah.
as Vanessa for this. And like you said, it makes me wonder, how bad was this show for them to really go back and like kind of change direction on a lot of things
Oh, that's what I'm saying because
and
okay, that's
and
that's
do
the,
this.
that's the weird part to me because like even at the beginning of the episode when like Matt goes to the rooftop, like you can clearly tell like the
Mm-hmm.
same rooftop type nonsense from the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the episode, he goes back to the rooftop to do some what's the weapon that that Donatello has? Was it size? He has, I mean,
You
not
talk about
Donatello, Raphael. Either way, like he has a some sort of weapon that has a chain and some
yeah,
sort of sharp, pointy object, some melee
yeah,
weapon at the end of it, and
yeah,
he's practicing. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
he's getting
Mm-hmm.
ready to fight Bebop and Rocksteady.
Oh snap! Yeah.
So yeah, so you can tell like that was added on as well. So there's just
Mm-hmm.
the like even though like we can kind of tell if you're just a
Mm-hmm.
regular viewer not really locked into it, you may not even recognize it or just be like, I feel something weird, but I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that also goes into what I want to talk about next. We're gonna get to all
Okay.
this stuff, but like this is kind of one of the major things I kind of want to talk about.
Go ahead.
And that is N-words in jail. Like this right here, so at the beginning of the episode, there's a scene where you have BB Urich and her girl and Michael Gandolfini. They in the club popping Molly and drinks, having a good time. And he's
Uh-huh.
like, yo, I gotta go home. We got some stuff to do tomorrow, yada yada. BB Urich basically dropped a dime on him, and you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? More like her uncle than we thought, because there was a
Yeah.
whole basically not no union work for the trash and all that.
Uh-huh.
There is so that cut from him being in the taxi to the
Mm-hmm.
taxi showing up in the cop car. That is a great that was a
It
great
was. It
transition.
was. It was.
All for us to see this black man on the side of the curb and in front of the corner store, with two cops eating fiddle faddle.
Yo,
Now,
I just want to say one thing, Rashawn. Getting arrested for trying to steal Fiddle Faddle of all things is wow. Is like Fiddle Faddle, my nigga.
Tony,
Fiddle Faddle, Rashad.
Tony, like okay,
Oh,
so here's the thing. One, I've never seen fiddle faddle in anybody's corner store or bodega. That's one. Two, if you steal from the corner store, the cops in New York are not going to care. They're not going to show up for that petty larceny unless they're
mhm.
already there. And
Oof.
then on top of that, they probably let you go because it's like it's not worth their time. And then three,
It's Fiddle Faddle.
it's fiddle faddle, the most disgusting ass snack, and
Yeah.
he was really pontificating about the delicious
He
exploits
did.
of fiddle faddle.
He
Yo,
did.
this my man was like, I would have something good, and I got the fiddle faddle because that
Can I
shit
have something
good.
sweet? I deserve something sweet.
I was like, bro, fiddle faddle
You
out of
couldn't
all
take
the
a
snacks
you couldn't
in
take
the
a
bodega.
hostess,
You couldn't you
a
couldn't
candy
get
bar.
like I don't know like one of those Nemo lemon cakes. You could have got
Yeah.
you could have stole some ice cream. You get fiddle
Fiddle
faddle?
Faddle?
That big box, that big obvious box I'm stealing.
Yeah.
Anyway, besides that, I really want
Let's talk about the jail.
okay, all right. I want to talk
Yeah,
about
because the whole time I'm watching this, I was like, what?
one.
That's all I kept saying is what?
One, they really and I had to look who wrote this episode because it was some white dude, and and this guy usually writes a lot of like court procedural stuff too, so that's kind of like
Uh-huh.
his thing. So you can tell like he wrote that part of the show, and they had this man being so ignorant to Matt. He said, "Oh my God, look at the blind man."
Yeah, that's what
I was
he said. This is
like,
oh my God. They sent me the blind lawyer. Know where this gonna go.
and he get it, yo, man. He is when I mean he's berating him. The funny thing is, like, I don't know if he thinks that he's okay. Going back to the rooftop when your girl said, "Hey man, I got a case for you. It's pro bono. You got to do a thing." You know what I'm saying? We looked out for somebody else. Got to look out for us. You know what I'm saying? Wash your
Uh-huh.
hands, wash the other hand, back, whatever. So he goes down there, and I don't know if this dude thinks that like Matt's a public defender or
I
what
think so. I
because
think so.
yo he He's not even giving this man zero respects.
No. And then straight up, the, it acts like he don't have a record at all. It just straights up and says, probation, I'm going home today. Matt was like, what? Probation, I'm going home. I don't know. I'm not doing no time. And here's the thing. When he was saying this, in my mind, Rashad, I was like, all right, please redeem this man because you're going to say something like, he's going to say something like, hey, I can't be in jail. I have a sick kid, my wife, my mom. Like, I can't be. You know what I'm saying, Rashad? Try to. No, he was just being a old YN, yo. He was just like, no, I ain't going to jail. And Matt was like, all right, we'll see.
No, the man was like, "Yo, you got a rap sheet like 11 pages, my guy. Like,
Yeah.
what you want me to do?" So Matt's like, "Okay, I'm gonna see what I can do."
Uh-huh.
And your man said, "See, you can
See?
see what you can do.
Right. Oh, yeah. See? And he went,
You can't see nothing." I was like,
no.
"Yo, this is so over the top." You know what I'm saying? Like,
But he was
why?
being such an ignorant.
He was such
He
an
did.
asshole
He
to Matt,
was
like
a,
for no
yeah.
reason, man. So Matt goes in there and Matt puts his Riz on 100.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Hey, he hit him like, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear."
Yeah.
That girl said, "Oh, it's Matt. How you
She said,
doing?"
hey, Maddie.
Yeah, I knew it was you. Like, I can, I know what time it is. You know what
I
I'm
know what time
saying?
it
He
is.
said, "You left me? What you left-handed, girl?" He just started, just random stuff. He said, "Oh
Uh-huh.
man, I know you Latvian." He said, "How? I can smell the honey cake on your breath."
Yeah.
She said, "You can smell my breath."
You can smell the breath. Yeah. Yeah, smell it.
She's like, I'm trying to see what that like. I'm trying to see what that
I'm,
like."
t I'm trying to see what that
I
honey cake tastes
was-
like, baby. You know what I'm saying? That honey cake. What that honey cake tastes like without actually eating honey cake. I want some of your honey. Yeah. So he tells the chick, all right, this guy, she looks it up is like, yeah, 30 days. And he's like, come on. I mean, it was just a box of Fiddle Faddle. It was a bodega. She's like, man, look at this dude rap sheet. And he's like, all right, all right. So he's like, what about 10? And she's like, 20.
20.
And he's like, come on, work with me here. He really doesn't, he needs to go home. He doesn't want to be. And she was like, she basically said something like, yeah, people don't want this, but they got to do what they got to do, whatever. She was like, he's gonna be back in the system, basically. He was like, come on, baby, work with me. And he like you said, Rashad, he rizzed her up enough where she was like, fine, 5 days. Rashad, I've never been in jail. I don't ever want to go to jail. If you tell me that 30 days or 5 days, guess what? I will do those five. I will do those 5 days, keep my head down, and go home.
Lakers at 5.
Right, Lakers in five. My man Matt was like, bad deal. He goes back to tell this ignorant son of a bitch. Like, oh my God. He goes back and was like, hey man, good news. He says, 5 days. I told you I ain't going in. I wanted probation. He was like,
He's like,
Matt,
do you understand the amount of flirting and whorish activity I had to do to get you this reduced? You was about to get 30. And not only that, but man, she was like, "Yo, this dude didn't even make arraignment twice."
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like he just what he like he we had to put a bench warrant on him 2 times for him to come to court.
yeah.
It's like, nah.
And then my man goes on his little rant about Fiddle Faddle and about how he deserved to have something sweet. My man, sir, if you don't go buy you a 50 cent pack of Kool-Aid, get that water out your thing, pour it in a paper cup, freeze it, and have you an iceberg and call it a day.
Hey, bro, Tony, because the thing that besides that, he was like, "Man, the last time I went in, they cut off my SSI." It took me
Right.
so long to get that John back, man. About yeah. I'm like, oh, but you
Okay.
still about to, but you still about to walk this 5 or 10, whatever 10 days, whatever much it was,
Yeah, I think it
and
was I
like
think it was five,
10,
one,
yeah, I
or
don't know.
5 or 10, whatever it was.
Either way, it ain't
Uh-huh.
30.
Yeah.
And dude was like devastated, and Matt was like, yeah, I know it's wrong, and that's it.
Uh-huh.
We never go back to that.
Yeah.
And that was the part for me. I was like, oh, they cut all that out because this was definitely like an
Something else.
ongoing story. This had to have been an ongoing storyline for out there, whatever the episode of episodes, because unless he comes back next episode, we
If we
talk to
see this
him.
dude come back again later on because he done did some more dumb stuff, yo, I'm gonna be like, really?
I'm gonna be weak. It was like because it just talks and because I was. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm a little excited. I really wasn't ready for them to talk about recidivism in
Mm-hmm.
Daredevil, even though it's a real thing. He said,
Yeah.
"Man, it costs them more to keep me in jail and feed me
Mm-hmm.
in jail than them to actually feed me on the outside." So I don't understand the point.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt was like, "No, no, no, I totally understand, but like that's the system.
Yeah.
Again, the title of the episode. That's the system in which we live in,
Yeah.
and that same system is the same system that he's relying on for that little thread of humanity for him not to go back to being Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt has to believe in the system because if he doesn't believe in it, then his world is going to devolve to him beating up people at nighttime again.
Yeah. You know what Daredevil is this season? He is acting like and I hate to say this, a Temu version of Batman. And this is what I mean by that. And I'm not saying that, and I'm saying it in a crazy way like that, but that's my best description because it's like how Batman has this code, Rashad, of what he's not going to kill. He feels anybody can be rehabilitated. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He feel like and like he's not going to kill this and that. Daredevil, well, Matt right now has put the horns up because he's like, hey, he's going through his trauma or what happened, and we're about to talk about that in a few minutes. And he's like, he's just going to rely on the system and trying to use the system to make things better. And that's why I say, what I'm saying, it's almost like a Temu version of Batman.
I wouldn't I wouldn't put him down that low.
Okay.
I guess because like he kind of had to get it out the mud, but like
Yeah.
other because I like how matter of fact it was a podcast I was listening to the other day called the Crazy Super Podcast,
Hmm.
and person over there said that the difference between Batman and Daredevil is the fact that Daredevil is really of the people. Like he grew up in the neighborhoods. He was there
Hmm.
the whole time. He was young. He grew up, and so he's there in the mix.
Yeah.
And Batman comes up from on high from Wayne Manor at nighttime to kill poor people, not kill, but beat up poor people.
In a
So
deluxe apartment
yeah,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
sky.
exactly. So and you know what I'm saying. So and there are ways that he does kind of help sometimes. He is philanthropic, but like
Yeah.
Matt is there. Not only is he there in the
Yeah.
neighborhood, but trying to help the people, and he's doing all these stupid little cases trying to help the people. So there's
Okay.
like,
I got that. Yeah.
yeah,
I'll take that
put some
back.
respect on Matt.
I'll put some
Call
respect
that
on
man
that.
Temu Batman.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, this season, that's all. I
Yeah,
just
I
felt
mean,
like,
I do feel you though because now you're starting to see just the similarities in comic book characters in general, and like
uh-huh.
there's nothing new under the sun. So we're gonna be
Yeah.
regurgitating some of these tropes.
Yeah. Let's talk about this. So the episode actually starts off with Matt going to the coroner's office and he sees um one Hector Ayala, aka White Tiger, who got smoked last last episode. And he sees all this, saying his costume, the stuff he had on him, and everything. And he's talking to the coroner, and the coroner's like, "Hey, man, was it worth it? You got him out just for this to happen." And then what happens? Hector's niece comes marching her little ass on around that corner
Out of nowhere.
out of nowhere. She marches her little ass around that corner, and That's Angela Del Toro. She comes around that corner. I want to see my uncle. She, said I didn't take Spanish. She says the Spanish word for uncle, saying,
Tio.
right. I want to see my Tio. And he's like, Matt said, no, I can't let you do that. You don't need to see him because that is going to be kind of crazy. He would have been like, all right, let's go see your uncle with this big ass bullet wound in his head and whatnot. Also, the coroner, when he's talking to the coroner, Matt was saying, where was there any shell casings?
Yeah.
And it was like,
Nah.
no, man, it wasn't no. And then he was like, "What do you mean?" He was like, "Look, man, I'm only going by what they brought to me." He said there was no shell casing for this. So he's talking to little Angela, and Angela's just like, "They did it, didn't they? They did it." She has it set in her mind that the police officers are the ones that killed him, and she's like, he did it, and he's like, "Hey, we can't say that for sure." And she was like, "Come on, man, And he's like, "All right, I get it." And they kind of console each other, what I'm saying, for
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that. Then we see a little bit later in the episode when Matt is in jail. I think after he finished dealing with the ignorant dude or whatever, he hears the voice of that one corrupt cop.
Hold on, Tony.
Uh-huh.
The ignorant dude was like, "Hey, man, could have been a scroll." I was like, "Yo." Matt was like,
Yeah.
"No."
No, no, it's not. So, he talks to that officer. They have a conversation, and Matt basically presses him. And he did it for two reasons. He did it to see whether or not the guy was lying, gonna lie, or whatever.
Yeah.
Because he was listening to his heartbeat and everything. And the guy was like, yo, I didn't have anything to do with that. I don't know anybody that, what I'm saying, that maybe did. He don't know nobody that did, but I'm pretty sure it was some of the other cops that did it. And he was listening to his heartbeat, and you saw that once he wasn't, what I'm saying, lying, he kind of backed off a little bit. But Matt also let that man know because he was let him know. Yeah, you know what happened? Because he was like, yeah, so you need to watch out for yourself. And he was like, you remember what happened last time you came? He said, you better last time. He said, you better bring more people than what you did that happened
He
last
said,
time.
"We don't believe you.
You
We need
need
more
more people.
people."
Yo, you want to know that may that may actually be worse than MAGA Captain America after he realized that he won't nothing when the Dora Milaje came and beat him down.
It's
And
playing
we're
neck
like,
and
it's
neck, yo.
about what for what? When MAGA Captain America got beat down and he said they weren't even super
Super
powered.
power.
And then you got that, and then you got this police officer trying to pop off at Matt, and Matt's like, yeah, you better bring more people next time. Having a blind man tell you that, and his thing, he don't know that Matt does have enhanced, but Matt can run. We like, hey man, you better bring more people to that
What,
boy.
what, what Walker Jerome said. You know how to teach him how to squabble.
Teach your mans how to squabble. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and so Matt goes back to the crime scene, and he's just using all of his because Matt really don't have powers. He just have heightened senses. That's his whole thing.
He out here being NYCSI.
Right. He been NYCSI and he takes like a can and he drops it and he hears it roll and he follows it down and he hears it goes into the little drainage ditch. And then he does. In my mind, I kept saying, no, it down there. No, no, Georgie, don't say it. So he sticks his arm down there and he feels it. And he pulls out the bullet casing and he rubs his fingers through it and he feels the Punisher skull. And then he just proceeds to detective the crap out of this, and he finds our old boy, one Mr. Frank Castle.
Yeah, he went and took a long walk.
Yeah, and Frank was about to unalive this man For real.
with a
It's
hatchet.
with a hatchet. It was like,
Hey,
it's me,
hey,
Frank.
Tony, he got all them guns in there and was about to just.
Hack this man
Why you got
up.
an axe?
Yo,
He could have shot him from across the room.
yeah, he was he was about to hack
Hey,
this
Frank,
man.
Frank, Frank, it's me, it's Matthew. He said it's Matthew, not
Yeah.
even it's Matt.
He said it's government. He said it's
He said
government
his
name.
full name.
It's Matthew.
I never had heard him say his full name on no show.
Right. Never. No, it's me, Matthew. He was like, oh. And then they just started having a conversation. And here's the thing, Frank knew exactly what it was. Frank was like, yo, these copycat guys out
Called them
here,
fanboys.
these fanboys out here, you know. And then Matt's like, well, you need to stop them. He's like, man, what? Hey,
Why? What am I doing with
why?
this? I got nothing to do with this.
I got to, and then he's like, then he's questioning Frank. Hey man, what you doing down here? And you know what I'm saying? And he's just like, you know, Frank is like, yo,
Just my, you know what I'm saying?
it's
Another day,
my
another dollar.
this is right.
Just minding my business, you know what I'm saying?
Right, this how I'm living right now, you know, and
Living and learning, you know what I'm saying?
right. And then
Trying to
Frank
stay out the way.
and then Frank basically reads Matt for filth. And
Yes.
he tells Matt, you ain't come down here to look for me for this shooting thing. You came down here for me to get my permission. And I
And,
said, oh,
and Matt's like, permission for what?
he said, permission for what? Yeah. And he was like, to put that mask back on and do. And he was like, blah, 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 this and that. And Matt was like, whatever, you don't know what you're talking about. And then Frank said it. He was like, yeah, you couldn't protect him. What? Foggy, that was his name. He said Foggy's name, man. Matt was about to lose it. And he basically told him, like, yo, in all intents and purposes, he told him, you're trying to be something you're not. You are the devil, but you don't want to be, you know, say it's kind of like how what Bruce Wayne said. He says, no, I'm Batman. Bruce Wayne is my alter. Bruce Wayne is my alter ego. I am the Bat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what he basically told him.
Yeah.
Like, no, you are Daredevil. Matt is your alter ego type thing. And Matt is like, they're just having it out. And like you said, it was a therapy session. And Frank was like, yo, you need to let that out, man. And you need to do what you need to do.
I think one of the most powerful parts of that whole scene is how he was wanting him to say Foggy's name. Like, say his name, yo.
Yeah, yeah.
Say his name. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'll say his name because he wanted to, because like when you have to come to terms with something, if you name it, then
Mm-hmm.
it's real to a certain respects. And also since you have to, like, if we talking about something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why it's just us? Like, why are you skating around the issue? Say
Right.
what you got to say so you can get out the way. And go ahead.
And then what he told him, he said, you should have killed him. He was like, Dex, locked up, 3 meals a day, three hots in a cot. He alive.
Breathing the same air as you.
Breathing the same air as you. Said Foggy ain't. And that was when Matt kind of was about to.
Yeah. He semi-lost it. He smacked Frank in the face,
Uh-huh.
and then he was, oh, I'm sorry. He was like, that's the most honest thing you done all time down here, Red.
Uh-huh. That's the honest thing you did
like,
down here,
damn.
man. Yep.
Yo, like he let that man smack him and didn't even care. And I think that's like kind of where it was okay. It's the reverse of the graveyard scene that they had, or the rooftop, whichever one you want to pick.
Yeah.
Because that time Frank was like on one. He was like
Unhinged.
in the middle of killing everybody that killed his family. And Matt was like, bro, like you gotta calm your ass down, yo. Like you are murdering droves of people.
Hey,
you
yo,
know?
that court scene where he was, I did it, and I'll do it again. He took Samuel L. Jackson. Yes, they deserve to die, and I hope they burn in hell. And he took that to 10,000.
Yo, I love that scene.
Yeah.
I got that scene on our TikTok from a long time ago behind Metro Boomin and Future.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yo. So nah, like that. That's yeah, Frank Castle, man. I like the way he came in, and I love a lot of the smaller choices he made when he was doing this because it really
Mhm.
brought us back to the character that we love. And
Yeah.
of course we know now because after the episode was out, they talked about how the Punisher that they wanted him to portray really wasn't the one that he did prior to, and he did not do the show. He was like, "No, I'm not doing it." So when they revamped the whole thing, he was like, "Look, let me do this," and a lot of that stuff he actually rewrote it
Okay.
himself.
Okay.
So I'm really wondering if, and the scene that almost got me
Hmm.
when he was like, "Man, you hear that voice in your mind." He said, "You know that I hear that voice. I hear my son saying, 'Go get him, Dad.'"
Go get him, daddy. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh."
Yeah.
He said, "That's what drives me every day." I'm like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God. I can't
Hmm.
wait." Yeah, I cannot wait for Frank Castle's special presentation, yo. You know we
Yeah.
get a special presentation, right?
Oh yeah. Oh definitely.
Can't
Yeah,
wait,
that's
yo. This
definitely
about to be
because he told him, he said, you hear,
crazy.
you hear his voice, don't you? He said,
Woo.
you do.
Yeah,
He
man.
says, I hear a voice too. It's my
That's my
son.
son. I
And
was
he's
like,
telling
"Ah,
me, go
go
get him,
get him,
daddy.
daddy."
I said, oh,
I said, yo.
so
And the
yeah.
fact that he probably had a whole lot of input on that,
Uh-huh.
it just makes me more confident that one, they're trusting the people there, like you know, like the actors, and
Hmm.
also they're letting them be the character because ain't nobody else Frank Castle but John Bernthal.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
I really appreciate even how he looks. Like this man was down there disheveled. He had a
Uh,
full beard. He wasn't
beard.
clean cut. Like
Uh-huh.
he looked like trash, and he was
Uh-huh.
still Xing names off of that daggone board in the back. Like he
Uh-huh.
had a yo,
His kill list is extensive, and
bro.
he's just
It
like,
was like a daggone 20 by
mm-hmm.
14 wall back there, and it was
Yeah.
full of just
Yo,
pictures and
you want
string tied to
you
it.
want to know who Frank Castle is in this iteration of a Frank Castle? He is like, you ever see the movie with Denzel, Man on Fire with
Yeah,
Dakota
yeah,
Fanning?
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
what was the line that he said? She was like, "What you gonna do?" "I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna kill them all. I'm gonna kill anybody that had anything to do with it. I'm gonna kill anybody that profited from it. I'm gonna kill anybody that looks at me crazy. I'm just gonna kill them all." That's exactly what Frank Castle is doing right now with that man. And after that happened, it was kind of an awakening for that was like part one of his awakening, Matt's awakening, and he goes to see his girlfriend.
Part two of his awakening when he goes back home,
Hmm.
and he gets to have some post nut clarity.
Right.
He's like,
Because because his girl, the therapist,
and she
was
was
talking
like,
to him. She
"Yo,
even was like,
is you good? Like, where you been?" He said,
and
"I
he
had a
said,
meeting."
yeah, he said, I had a meeting. I said, that is funny. He says,
Oh
he said, I went to go
God.
see my therapist. I had a meeting, and he basically started talking. He mentioned Foggy's name, and she said, that's the first time you've ever mentioned his name or whatever. And
Foggy got him some vagina.
yeah, and he went and he got him some poontang, and he woke up in the middle of the night while she was asleep.
So real quick,
Uh-huh.
while they were
Uh-huh.
sleeping, he wakes up and there's a red light blinking over him.
Uh-huh.
Red light blinking. So then he gets up. He said, "You know what, man? Let me get some practice in."
Mm-hmm.
Goes up to the rooftop and starts swinging the melee weapon. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
"Oh, okay." And that's like it's like intercut with some other stuff, but we'll get to that in a
Yeah.
second. But nah, yo, like Frank Castle's appearance in this episode, top
Top
tier,
dot.
man. Like
Top
like
tier.
man, John Bernthal, man, he's a beast, yo.
Yeah,
Like
great.
and all the random stuff he be doing too, like on
Yeah.
regular shows. Like, yeah,
Yeah. If
love
you
Bernthal.
if you if you ever see the show The Bear, he is amazing in The Bear as well, in that show as well, man. Especially because there's a lot of flashback scenes with him, but he's amazing in that. Um, let's
Time
get
to
to
talk,
our
time to talk about the fix.
yeah. So as I said earlier, that episode after the whole the coroner's visit with Daredevil and everything, it's time for the Fists to have their weekly or whatever marriage counseling.
They're a little bit
and
closer this episode too.
they're a little
So
bit
a
closer,
little bit closer.
and
You know
they're
what I'm saying?
talking, and and Daredevil's girlfriend, what is her name? What is her name? Rashad? I can't think of her
Sheila.
name.
Is it Sheila?
Sheila, right? Sheila,
It's
something
not
like that.
Sheila. I lied. I'll look it
We
up.
go, whatever. She's talking, and then she's like, "So, tell me about the infidelity. You saw how uncomfortable Wilson
Melissa
got.
said, "Oh, do we have to talk about
Do we have to talk about it?
it?"
Do we have to talk about it?" And she was like, "Yeah." And what made it worse was Vanessa. I'm gonna just say this: Vanessa ain't shit, yo. Vanessa ain't shit because yo, the way she was rubbing it in, and
She
she was
said,
enjoying seeing Wilson. She was like, "Oh,"
"Oh, what was
and
it?
she
What
was like,
was
"What
it
was it?" She
about?
was like, "What
What was
was
it
it
about
about
him?"
him?" His hands. I said, "Really, Vanessa?" She was like, "His hands, it was his hands," and he was like, you were married," and she just kept saying, "I didn't know whether you was coming back. You know me, and you know I was coming back, Vanessa. I just I don't understand, Vanessa." But the problem is, and she basically like rubs it in and says, he was there for me, and you weren't there, and while you was out running your escapades and going after your adoptive deaf
Niece.
one-leg daughter who tried to
Oh
kill
my
you,
gosh.
this guy was here for me, and whatever. Adam was here for me. Adam was here for me. Adam did, Adam made me feel good. That's what she basically was saying.
Tony. All right. So that's crazy and that's funny,
hmm
and I'm not gonna reenact the scene. So Heather, Heather's her name.
Heather, if I'm
Heather
right, yeah.
said because Vanessa was like, in my husband's work, he's usually way more, you know what I'm saying? He's way more direct about stuff. And she was like, what's his business? What does he do? Both of them at the same time said business.
And she said,
Um, and then towards the end of it, it was like, hey man, so did you ever end things with Adam? She said, I never had a chance to. He said, what happened to Adam? Both of them at the same time disappeared.
disappeared.
So that part for me, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
we obviously Kingpin did something to that man.
right.
And
But
after
remember,
that,
he also said, I didn't. He told her, I didn't do anything to him.
oh yeah, that
This is
man,
I.
yo,
He says, he's not dead. That's what he said. He's
he
not
did say
dead.
that. He said he's not dead. I didn't kill him. He's not dead.
hmm
And
Because Vanessa's like, my husband, he has a way of doing things when he feels a certain type of way or
yeah,
whatever.
and it was funny because Heather was like, "Man, Kingpin, get your ass out of here. Hey,
Uh-huh.
are you safe?"
Are you safe?
She was like, "Look, yo, that big bastard do a whole lot of stuff, but he ain't gonna hurt me.
He ain't gonna hurt
Trust me,
me.
darling. Trust me." I don't really trust that.
Mm-mm.
So
Mm-mm.
cut back to hold on. All right, let's just deal with Kingpin and Vanessa. So cut
Uh-huh.
back to Vanessa and Kingpin eating dinner, and they're a little bit close at the dinner table. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
They're not like
Oh, don't forget the assignment that Heather had for him. She says, listen here, when you first got here, you said you want to save this marriage,
oh yeah,
salvage this
yeah, yeah,
marriage.
yeah, yeah,
She
yeah.
says, I want y'all to really think about this. If this something that y'all really want to do, salvage this marriage or what? Because she's sitting here looking like, I don't think this thing could be salvaged or whatever. And she's like, just let me know if y'all really want this marriage salvaged. Then we go to dinner scene and they were talking.
Yeah, they were just talking, having like a normal conversation, and still kind of reflecting on the therapy session. And she
Uh-huh.
was like, "Hey, yo," she asked me. He said, "I know any prudent therapist would ask if you were safe." And then she was like, "So should I feel safe?" And Kingpin really didn't say anything. I don't. Did he say anything?
I don't think
I
he
don't
did say
remember
anything.
saying
I can't
anything.
recall. Yeah.
All of a sudden, like in a cut between Matt going up the steps to the roof, we have
Uh-huh.
him going down some steps. I don't even know where this is,
Uh-huh.
and we see him walking about some stuff. He walks by the rabbit in the snow with the blood picture
Uh-huh.
because
Uh-huh.
can't have that in the house no more. And
Uh-huh.
he sits down. He has this like really odd pasta and four huge Italian sausage dinner.
Uh-huh.
And in the background, you see somebody like kind of like, because it's out of focus.
Uh-huh.
So it's blurred. And then they focus in on him and you see some random guy in there like moaning and groaning. And then he's sitting
Uh,
down. You know how Kingpin be. He be
this,
real particular about everything. Got his fork, his knife. See, I'm about to crush these sausages. Can't
uh-huh.
wait. I've been eating little ass omelets all day long. I'm about to
Uh-huh.
eat. You know what I'm saying, by
Mm-hmm.
myself. And then his dinner partner
Mm-hmm.
in shackles.
Wilson! Wilson, let me out! Come on, man. Let me go, Wilson. Wilson. That's that's Mayor Fisk to you, Adam.
I was like, yo, he locked this man down in the daggone and this. I don't even like. How did he have a cage downstairs? Like I don't like this crime boss lair is crazy. Like,
Yeah. He has this man locked up. This man has been locked up for a long time. His hair is down to his shoulders, his beard. Ain't no telling what type of torturing that he's been privy to.
'cause he's beat the
You
hell up.
you know what I'm saying? And it's like Kingpin is just keeping him alive. He's probably giving him like a sliver of food a day just to keep this man alive, just to keep torturing. And he's like, help! Come on, man, let me go. And for those of y'all that were like, who was this guy? And you don't know, that was Adam, the man that was clapping his wife's cheeks, that his wife cheated on, that he said
Wow.
he didn't kill.
No, he
He's
ain't
not
kill him. You
dead.
online.
He ain't dead yet.
Yeah. While Kingpin was away with a hole in his head, trying to get
Mhm.
his life right, his wife said, "I thought you weren't coming back, so I moved on." Yeah.
Yeah. And he was like,
Yeah.
you knew I'd come
You
back.
know I come
No,
back.
no, I didn't.
Mm.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, all that is going on with Kingpin. Also, the other thing that happened with Kingpin was that he was supposed to his boy Michael Gandolfini, his when he was out, at the rave with BB and the crew, their friends and stuff. You give somebody some alcohol or drinks, BB knew exactly what the hell she was doing. She got that boy liquored up, and he started having diarrhea in the mouth, talking about this and that, and oh, he has this new type of way to minimize trash. And she was like, "What about the unions?" He was like, "Ah, whatever."
we
And it
going
came,
past the unions, yo.
we going
We
past
going
the
straight to the
union,
people. You know what I'm saying? We didn't know union.
right? And Kingpin had, oh my God, this scene was funny as hell. Kingpin was at this school visiting this music class.
Bro.
These little kids, they sucked. They were singing "We Built This City on Rock and Roll." And good God Almighty, they were off key. They were saying, if I was the principal of this school, that music teacher would be fired. Seriously. And Rashad, and here's the thing, people. I'm a music person. I wasn't a music major, but I have a musical ear. I play an instrument. That's how
Likewise.
I met my man Rashad here. He's the same thing. Rashad actually was a music major for a hot second. For a hot second. Before he came to a senses or whatever. You got to understand when you have a musical ear and you hear something that sounds bad, singing or instrument wise, it sounds bad to normal people, but when you got a musical ear, it is almost excruciating.
It
Now,
is
I don't know.
terrible.
I don't know if Kingpin has a musical ear, but good God Almighty, I was sitting there like, if these little kids, and you saw him rubbing his fingers together, like, oh, would these little bastards shut the hell up? And they were
Yo.
singing, and then his Michael Gandolfini gets the little message that shows that the article is about to leak. He shows it to the chick that's his boss, and it's like,
Sheila. Shows it to
Sheila,
Sheila.
Sheila, that's Sheila. And she's like, ugh. And they finished singing the song, and he's like, great job, great job, great job. And they was like, now we have I got somewhere to be. He said, oh, no, 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 no. Y'all little bastards can stop. He says, I appreciate you. And that's when they tell him, hey, because he was like, "Yo, we supposed to go meet with sanitation or something like that." They
Yeah, the
said, "Yo, we can't."
clean green,
The
whatever.
clean green. They said, "Yeah, we can't do that." Why? And he saw the article and he was like snapping.
We
He
have a
said,
leak.
"We have a leak. I want a meeting with everybody on my staff." They have the meeting, and he is like berating them. We could never have this.
Before we even get to the meeting, they got he said, "Where are we?" He said, "Oh man, we at the
The
Latvian
Latvian, yeah.
like council or whatever." And they go upstairs and they start singing, "We built this city in Latvian." This man was about to tweak out on
He was,
everybody in there,
he
yo.
was, he was about to lose his ear. She was like, "This is
And
what we
then he
doing."
gets back to
Yeah,
City Hall
he
and,
gets
and goes the hell off.
it kirks out on everybody in there, and he's like, "When I find out who did it," and my man Michael Gandolfini said, "You don't got to find out,
Man, I
sir. It was me. It was me," because he even had told Sheila before it was me, and she was like, "Hey, just shut up. Don't say it was you. We'll get through this." He said, "It was me, sir. I did it." She says, "Oh shit," just like that. She says, "Oh shit," and he looks at him and he says, "Everybody out, everybody except for you." And and he's like, basically tells him like, "You've effing done this and that," and then Michael Gandolfini proceeds to give a pretty good listen. I know I screwed up, but I want you to understand that no matter what, I deserve to be gone. I'm with you.
Yo,
I am going to make sure support you. I'm going to tell other this dude and the whole time and the chick was trying to look out for him was like, no, it's on me. This and that. He says, no, it was me.
you know what he did?
What'd he do?
He did the thing where you about to get beat and you just try to fess up to everything and
Uh-huh.
like really get
Uh-huh.
you try to get in front of the issue.
Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Mom,
Hey,
dad,
man. I know it. I'm wrong.
I'm
My
wrong.
like I feel
I
really
did it.
bad about it.
I feel bad about it. Look,
I've been
here,
thinking about
here,
it for days. My guilt has
here's
been killing me.
yo,
I'm so sorry.
here's my Nintendo controllers. I can't play nothing. I'm putting I'm putting myself on punishment.
Oh man.
Here's my phone. Y'all give it back to me when y'all feel like it or whatever. Like that. He said that, and Kingpin looking at him the whole time like. But I think Kingpin respected him for fessing up to it for that one time, and he told him, and he was like, "You're not fired." He was like, "No, I need to be fired." He says, "Are you turning
Trying
down a
to,
job?"
you're trying to talk yourself out of a job.
Off a job. And he basically said, listen, like basically told him, like, yo, you got your ear to the streets with the kids and stuff like that. It's cool. He said, yo, get your people. We're gonna talk to them about it. And he was like, you're gonna stay around. He says, however, if you ever do this again, it's yeah, yeah. She's horrified.
Tony.
She's horrified right there.
Sheila
Uh-huh.
is afraid for him.
Uh-huh.
Like when I saw her face when he was talking, he said, "Hey man, how about you just shut up, yo?" Like she was
Yeah.
really trying to help. And
Yeah.
and to be honest, like this dynamic really felt like I was saying, really felt like dad and mom trying to
Uh-huh.
discipline their child. And
Uh-huh.
mom is trying to look out for the son, but the son don't
Uh-huh.
want to shut up. And
Uh-huh.
dad is really trying to take everything out of him, not to beat the brakes off of that kid.
Yeah.
And he says, if you ever do anything again, that'd be the last thing you ever do.
Ever
And she
do.
was like, what?
What? Yep. She was like,
She was
I
like,
beg your
oh,
pardon.
like I may need to get out of here.
She said, you know what? I might have to resign from this post here and go become a political analyst or
Oh
something
my
like
God,
that.
about to
Because this,
catch me on TV1 or something. Because
yeah,
like
catch,
this is not working,
this is
yo.
not it right here. Yeah, man. So,
Another funny thing too,
uh-huh.
when they went down to the to what's the name of the dock of the area that he's trying to revitalize?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Red Hook.
Yeah, Red Hook and
Uh-huh.
like she like they're walking right,
Uh-huh.
and Sheila with her heels on is tiptoeing her best through that gravel, and it is just hilarious to me because
Yeah.
again, I don't know if that was a choice or she had to do it because that just was the topography of the land over there, but
Uh-huh.
it was funny. You know
But
what
yo,
I'm saying?
because walking on gravel, even if you got tennis shoes on and
it
stuff like that,
sucks.
it sucks, yo,
So
for
imagine having
real.
like, a nice little 4-inch heel. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So she's walked to the gravel and they're walking to this like this model of what they wanted to be.
Uh-huh.
And he's all like, oh, let's break ground today. She's like, fam, you can't just do that.
Yeah.
Like, there's some steps we gotta go through. And then he asked, oh, should we do it? And of course, Gandolfini out there, oh, of course we should do it. You know what I'm saying? We should do it
Yeah.
today. She's like, hey, we gotta have we gotta have permits. How you get
Uh-huh.
permits? You gotta talk to people. We do that. We also have to actually have like like environmental
Uh-huh.
land. They gotta make sure this is decent land to actually do this stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need all types of stuff. He said, "How we get this done?" So we gotta set up a meeting
Yeah.
with the council to even get that stuff done first. And he's
And
like,
then
"All
he
right,
was like, so we gotta meet first.
yes."
And she said, yeah, he says, set up the
Set up a
meeting.
meeting. And
Yeah.
then and then he talks to what's the dude's name? His name is what
His assistant,
Buck.
yeah.
Named
Buck,
Buck.
yeah.
Buck Cashman. He doesn't look like a Cashman to me,
Uh-huh.
especially with his voice. But anyway, he's like, hey, she's right about one thing. You know what I'm saying? Like this place down here has been a haven for for violence and crime. So
Mhm.
we got to figure out a way to get that squared away. So
And
every
that's basically getting those other gangs,
the 5 families out the
the
way.
five families out the way. Yeah.
Which leads me to why Vanessa's going to die.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Vanessa's gone. Yeah.
Like, because she wants to hold on to that.
Mm-hmm.
And Frank really wants to go legit.
Uh-huh.
And he's not going to let anybody get in the way of that, even his Vanessa. And it's going to be sad when we see Vanessa die. I don't know this season or next season, but
You
I
know what it's you know
think
what
she's
that's
going to
like
die.
too? Almost like I'm in Power season one when Ghost was trying to go legit and his wife was like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, why type, you know what I'm saying? Type thing. Like, he's really tried, like you said, Kingpin wants to go. He still has that dog in him. Don't get it twisted. He ain't no punk.
He has
But
Adam in the galleys. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, but he wants to go legit and actually does want, and he does care about the city. The way you can tell he really cares about New York by the way he lights up whenever he talks about it and stuff. So yeah, man. But I feel you're right there, Rashad. Vanessa's about to die. This was a solid episode. The way it left off with old Adam. I wonder if she's gonna ever find out that Adam is basically living in the basement, whatever, like that. But hey,
Last thing. So
uh,
as we see the intercut between Matt and Fisk
uh-huh.
devolving into their natural selves, we get a man carrying a man on the subway.
We've seen it twice already throughout the episode. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
real
saying?
quick.
Uh-huh.
But now we see it's Muse
Hmm.
in full regalia, and he has a workshop of horrors. So there's this Spanish kid that he that he found somewhere.
Hmm. He's
Throws
just
him on the table. He's
hmm
incapacitated. Throws him on the table. Dude wakes up like, oh, where in the hell am I at? He proceeds to plunge a siphon and just starts to extract blood from out of this man while he is still alive.
Yeah, yeah.
And around the room, you see like people just hung up, still living.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Grasping onto, because I was like, yo, so this dude want like he treating them like crabs. Like they got to be alive. You know what I'm saying? You can't use that dead blood. You know what I'm saying? You know, because
Uh-huh.
I don't like it's crazy because these people still living. He's pumping blood
Yeah.
out of them, just like at his leisure. And he has all these crazy paintings. Of course, that's his whole thing. Everything is in blood.
And you also saw you see that he was the one that in the first episode that did that mural of Fisk.
Yeah, he did all the
And
murals.
and you see that it's kind of finished where it's Fisk and white, but then it says Kingpin. And you see some of that red in
See
it,
the red, like dude, like dude,
and that's the blood.
this is blood on the dance floor right now.
Ye-
So he did that one. Also did the blood out. Did the mural outside the club for the white vigilante
Oh yeah.
at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Called Vigilante Justice. So like he's been he's
Vampires of the city, they see blood, 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 blood. One blood, one blood. Blah,
Yeah,
blah.
he's been tagging like all throughout Manhattan, bars, and yeah, like I can't wait to see like that character starts to develop some more. We can like kind of see what his motivations are and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But nah, yo, this has been a crazy solid episode of TV, man. Whew, yeah. So we got 5 more episodes, which makes me
Oh
very
wow.
happy.
Mm-hmm.
And all these, matter of fact, next week we get a 2-for-1 deal. So we got 2 episodes next week, and the rest of the will be 1 episodes because
Uh-huh.
what's popping on the 22nd. Andor. And Disney's learned his lesson. You cannot have these joints staggered. They got to be individual.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. So again, 1 through 4 so far, great,
Yep.
great episodes. And what you think is gonna happen next week?
Yeah.
What you think is gonna happen next week?
Oh man. I think you will start to see reports of people missing. And I think the Muse line is going to start to pick up. Also, you may see Matt finally don the cowl again. Like, what I'm saying, the horns and the cowl again. And I think we're going to get a Kingpin. I think we may also get a Kingpin crash out because,
We're
like
due
I
for
said,
one.
we're due for one. And like I said, last 2 episodes have been kind of solid, just storytelling episodes without any action. And I think some actions is about to really start to pop off.
Yeah. Just looking at the person who wrote this. So the person who wrote the last episode is writing next episode too. And we got 2 new directors, so I'm not sure. Wow, the other one did a whole lot of stuff for like DC Flash stuff. So yeah. So definitely comic book people doing comic book stuff on TV shows. So I'm very happy about that. But nah, that's all we got for this one, man. We appreciate y'all. Definitely check us on the socials again on
Yes.
everything. IG, Threads,
Yes.
Threads is popping.
Also check out the last video that we did, which was basically a little review
So
of
what we watching?
a
That we
double of what we're watching. Paradise, say a quick review of the show Paradise right now, probably for me and Rashad, show of the year so far, starting off. And a quick review also we did as well on that same episode of
Invincible.
Invincible, what I'm saying? So check that out and we'll see you when we see
Yeah, we'll be
you.
back probably next Wednesday, man. I don't think nothing popping in between them. But if it does,
Nothing's really popping for real like that. So,
nah, not really. But
cool.
yeah, again, theuponfurtherreview.com. Join
Yes,
us.
check us out.
Join us. Join us. All right. So next time.
Peace.